Hello, welcome to GED exam preparation class. I am your host and instructor, Ruben Herrera. And on this lesson, my friends, we are going to learn about quadratic equations. Okay, quadratic equations, the name itself sounds a little bit intimidating, my friends, but actually, you guys already know how to do this. On a past lesson, we learned how to multiply binomials, or also known as polynomials. Well, actually, it is the same thing. This is a quadratic equation, and what we're going to do, my friends, we're going to solve for this. And the way we solve for this is going to be by multiplying this term times these terms right here, these two right here. Okay, and then when we're done, we're going to multiply this times this, and then this times this right here, and that will give us our result. Same thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and multiply for the first part right here. X times, I'm gonna do x times x is equals to x squared, and x times 2 is equals to 2x. So that's my first part right here. This is the first part right here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and multiply for the second part right here. 4 times x is equals to 4x, and 4 times 2 is equals to 8. Okay, so here is my result right here. Last but not least, I have to now combine my like terms, which I have 2 in here. The 2x plus 4x is telling me right here that I'm going to have to add them, or I'm going to combine these two terms by adding them, and that's going to be equals to 6x. So therefore, my result is going to be x squared plus 6x plus 8. Very nice, and this is it. Okay, we done this. We did something similar to this in our past lesson. Let us look at one more example right here. I have the 6 plus, I'm sorry, a plus 6 that is going to multiply a plus 5. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply the first term. So remember, I multiply this times these two first, and then this times these two next. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my first part right here. It looks like the a times the a is equals to a squared, and then a plus 5 is equals to 5/8. Okay, for my second half of this multiplication process, now I'm going to multiply the 6 times a, and that's going to be equals to 6a plus 30, because also 6 times 5 is equals to 30. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to combine my like terms in here. So it looks like I'm going to combine these two. This is going to be equals to 11a, and therefore the result for my quadratic equation is going to be a squared plus 11a plus 30. Okay, my friends, very, very nice. Let us look at one more example right here. Actually, what we're going to do, my friends, right now, another part of the quadratic equations is that now we're going to go back from this to this result right here. Okay, so let us look at this example now. On this example right here, my friends, I have this quadratic equation. Now our this is the result of a quadratic equation. Now what we're going to do, we're going to factor this. We're going to go back to the two sets of parentheses that we had before. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, my friends, I'm going to go ahead and first I'm going to write down my parentheses like so, my two sets of parentheses, and then I'm going to write down the x right here. Why the x? Well, because if you look at all these three terms in here, the most common, denominator, or the most common term in here, I mean, you can tell that I have a multiple of 1 right here, a factor of 1 on each of these terms, but we cannot use 1 right here in algebra, or not the invisible 1 anyways. Although there is 1 right there. So the next most common thing that we have is just the x in here, which I'm going to put in here and here. Now our job is going to be to find out what number goes in here and what number goes in here. Okay, remember, my friends, we're going back now from this result back to this result, okay, but with another different problem. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and find out what is the number that goes here and the number that goes here. And the answer is going to be a little tricky. We need to do a lot of trial and error, my friends. What we need to do right here, I'm going to take this number right here, this number 3, and I'm going to factor this number 3. In a past lesson, we learned what factors are. Factors is the word factor is a fancy word for multiples or divisibles. In this case, I know the factors of 3 are only 1 and 3. That one looks more like an I. So there's only two factors in here, the 1 and the 3. So what I'm going to do, and some numbers are going to have more factors than this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take two factors, two of these factors, which I only have two, and I either have to add or subtract these two factors in order for me to get a 4, okay? That is a positive 4. So what should I do with this 1 and 3 in order for me to get a positive 4? Okay, I'm going to add those. Very nice. I'm going to put the 1 in here and I'm going to put the 3 in here. And I'm going to put, and the reason why I put the 1 in here is because I have to also write my numbers down in chronological order. So therefore, my 1 is going to go here, my 3 is going to be here, and since I am adding those two numbers, in order for me to be able to get a 4, okay, I'm going to have to put, I'm going to have to add those two, and I'm going to put my addition symbol in here. And this, my friends, this is the answer that your GED exam is looking for. Notice that just went now from the answer back to the quadratic equation. Very nice. Let us look at one more example in here. So I have right here the a squared plus 5a plus 14. The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and write down my parentheses along with my variable. Remember, I'm writing the variable right here because this is what I have most common. You're not going to have on your GED exam, you're not going to have quadratic equations with two different variables. Only it's going to be one same variable right here. So you're going to put it right here in both places. Now our next job is to find out the numbers that will go here and the numbers that I will go here. Now I need to find out right here what are the factors of 14. Okay, so the 14 has more than two factors. Notice that we have the 1, we have the 2, we have the 7, and then we also have the 14. All of these are factors of 14. Now, which of these two factors I will have to add or subtract in order for me to get this number 5? Always the number in the middle, my friends. So those two numbers will be the 2 and the 7. And this is a little harder because we actually have to not add but subtract. We can only add or subtract. In this case, we're going to subtract the 2 and the 7 so that I can get a positive 5. And I cannot do 2 minus 7 because that will give me a negative 5. That will give me yes, that will give me a negative 5, and I'm looking for a positive 5. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to still have to write my numbers in chronological order. So the 2 is going to go in here, and the 7 is going to go in here, but the 2 is going to have to be that negative one, and the 7 is going to have to be the positive value. That way I can end up with a positive 5. Okay, so why the 2 is negative anyways, and why the 7 positive? That is because, my friends, remember, according to the number line, if I have 2 negative and I'm going to add 7 positive, I want to move towards the positive numbers, and I want to end up with a positive 5, which is what I'm looking for, a positive 5. Very nice. And my friends, we're done, and this is the answer for our problem, or for our quadratic equation. Let us look at one last example. Okay, this is going to be a little bit harder. So now I have this right here. Oops. I have the x squared minus 12x plus 36. I went ahead and dropped my parentheses. Now I'm looking for these two numbers in here. Okay. And what's going to happen right here, my friends, that 36 has a lot a lot of factors. We have the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 6, the 9, the 12, the 18, and the 36. And two of those factors, we have to either add them or subtract them in order for me to get negative 12. Which of those two should I use? Okay, very nice. So what we're gonna have to do, my friends, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the minus 6 and the minus 6 in here. Okay, and I'm also have to remember as I'm doing this, I have to use also the rules of that symbols, my friends, because two negatives right here, minus 6 is going to equals to minus 12, which is the number that I'm looking for. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys on the next lesson. Have a great day.